What I find super fascinating is how so many people are unwilling to admit that they are not perfect and unwilling to admit that they they can't be right, unwilling to admit that there is an imperfection about them. And if they were to talk about those things openly, that it would be a crushing blow to everything about them. And it's interesting, even in all aspects of popular culture, from politics to um, to actors and sort of movies, they all display this very heroic image of what it means to do these roles. Where politicians are, if they admit that they were wrong, or their beliefs change, or that they have some sort of flaws, that everybody will trounce on them and say that they're flip-floppers, or that they've got issues, whatever those family issues that are going on. And I think about the interesting notion that we are so wired to think. I think it's almost human nature. I don't know if that's culture today or human nature, but we're wired to never say that we're unsuccessful. So many people want to make these displays, and I think at the heart of it, many times, many things, many of the problems that we experience in life really stem because of that. If you're in a relationship, for example, the fact that you can't admit that you're wrong, or that you're stepping over boundaries, or whatever, um, that that causes people to be very agitated and angry. If you're doing banking, for example, in a family relationship, and you're unable to talk about the money situation because of how it makes you feel. Um, you know, all of those, the shame, the guilt, all of that stuff that comes with it if you're overspending or doing something. I think about the number of sort of just aspects of life where we go through in, even in parent-child relationships, for example, where the parent often screws up, and they can't admit to their kid, they can't say, I'm the one that screwed up in this circumstance. Or kids, they will never admit to having a problem because they fear that they're going to get into trouble. And I think reasoning this all out and thinking about it is because we put this profound sense of that we're problematic whenever that there is a negative thing that happens. And instead of walking people through and saying you'll be okay with this negative thing, we just need to think about how to actually deal with it. That's that's a profound difference. I mean, even when you think about the criminal justice system in different countries and how they treat criminals, for example, the fact that some countries treat them like criminals, and they call them criminals, versus other countries say that you did something and we need to figure out why. We need to help coach you to not do that again. you know, all of that stuff, the takes that you take on it, the sort of feelings that you have when you go into those areas, or when you experience something negative, is such a profound thing. It's so deeply woven in society today, and maybe it's always has been. But thinking about, can we get away from that? Can we start admitting to ourselves that, yeah, there's lots of things that I'm not good at, and I can name those things. You know, um, I'm not very good at talking openly. I know that sounds like really kind of funny, but it's hard for me to talk in one-on-one. I mean, I could talk on one-on-one, but it's hard for me to be open. Um, it's hard for me, the sort of athletic stuff and all that. That's pretty easy because I really am terrible at it. Um, the fact that I bumble a lot and I was very nervous, making myself extremely nervous around other people. I mean, all of these things, it's fascinating, even for people just to admit those things, or it's scary to call somebody. I mean, all of these sort of human things that if you stop and think about it, that affects a lot of people. All these things are not, they're not like, oh my gosh, like this is, if you have a weird sexual kink, whatever, that kind of stuff, I think I'm pretty normal in that area. But whatever, I don't know if I'm normal or not, but I think I'm pretty like bang on with every other guy out there. Um, you know, I think about all those things in terms of um, the sort of feelings that we attach to all of this stuff. And if we simply just admit, be open, talk about it, I think things change in your life. It doesn't have power anymore in your life. It's not something that you will, that things will really change your life that much. But admitting that and openly talking about things, that's hard. It's really hard, right? Admitting and talking and having a corner, a circle where you talk about, this is not working out for me. Even in the workplace, it's hard. Talking about different feelings and all those kind of things, all of that is such an incredibly difficult thing that nobody is willing to admit and go towards. I think I think we just need to be more open, because once you're more open, it doesn't have power over you anymore. It really doesn't. So try doing that. See if you can do something that you know that you're not really capturing to the best of your ability. Talk it through. Just be okay with it. Explain it. All of a sudden, things change in your life when you're able to do that. But it's up to you to do it. Take care and have a wonderful day.